This is the Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Mike Hassel. What's up, guys?
Yo, Doug, great to be here.
Greetings and felicitations.
So, Kenny, did you do anything over the past week since I've been gone?
Went to Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. That sounds fun.
Got the Long War account hacked.
Nice.
Oh, that. I remember that.
You didn't do anything else? You just went
No,
to
nothing
Puerto
else.
I got engaged.
Nice.
Oh.
Yep. Which posted on Facebook, and it's actually my most popular Facebook post of the year.
Awesome.
So
yeah, it's a good picture too.
Thanks,
It
man.
is.
Picture.
It actually kind of feels good, right? Like just because I've been keeping my relationship a lot more private than normal for me.
Mm.
With my lady has private accounts, and I've just used her name and keep her kind of hidden just for privacy. So it was the first time I put up like a personal note on my Instagram like that, and it was wild to see like 10,000 views and 1,000 hearts and like
wow,
200 congratulations. So it felt really good to know that people, were rooting for me and us and my lady Eileen, who said yes. By the way, as if it's not clear in the picture.
I have two questions for you.
Yes, sir.
One, did you find the ring in your beard?
That's where I hit it.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. I kept the beard. I kept the beard bushy. I had the ring threaded through inside of it, kind of hidden.
That works. Yeah. I figured it was something like that. And I just want you to know that there's interesting external pressures around the old Cat Command Center here. So I would like to thank you for that.
I'm sorry. That's the nature of the world, bro. I can't do anything about that.
It is. First it was our coworkers, and now it's my partners in crime.
So any excuse you had that was like, well, like I'm like, look at me, like I'm a hobo, like I do podcasts and 40k miniatures
secretly.
And then now it's like, well, like the guy who's like clearly the biggest hobo on your fucking crew.
Mm-hmm. That's okay though.
Yep.
I'm happy for you.
I appreciate it. Well,
Yeah, much deserved, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
42 years old, getting married for the first time.
My second question is, have you ever advocated the violent overthrow of the United States government?
I've not, sir.
On your channels?
Well, you see, this one time I got hacked during a Google breach. I want to put this 100% on Google.
Okay.
Yeah. Hacked.
Air quotes.
Oh man.
This isn't like the other hack.
No.
The time that like somebody quote unquote hacked Spiky Bits and put up a post that was like the word dick 57,000 times repeated.
It sounds like something you might have accidentally done.
That was that was me accidentally publishing something. It wasn't a hack. I'm coming clean.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's scary though.
Kara Quinn, Google says they didn't get breached. By the way, Google it. They sent me an email that they got breached.
No, you got breached. I didn't get no email about that.
Ray Long posted it. A third-party vendor got breached and access to Google passwords and accounts of over 1 billion users, Kara Quinn.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
But it might not be that. It could be like 2 weeks ago when I accidentally clicked on that malicious download.
Right, and it just like fed them your info. And
could be that. It was a really good. It was a good one. They've only gotten me a couple times in 15 years, and this one was
inserted a Trojan on you, and then you're done.
Yeah, it was definitely a Trojan. What they did, I mean, I immediately scrubbed everything. That's why we also changed the passwords and everything. They got me good because I had posted a Bourbon and Bolters video where I actually used like the Black Stallions YouTube video clips and like recorded it and made my own. And then I got a copyright notice. Rob, yeah. So Rob, the click that they tricked, the link they tricked me into clicking was from a law firm for a copyright notice representing these are legit people. I googled them, and it was like literally pointing to the video I just put up from Bourbon and Bolters, which I used Black Stallion's video for, and they were like, yeah, you have 7 days to take it down, like nothing bad happened. And we get notices from YouTube all the time like that are like,
there's one going around now that's like a private video that's shared that's like completely AI and trying to get you to like click on it.
So I Googled the name of the company, Googled the representatives. I was like, yep, this all makes sense. I just actually did indeed use someone's video without the permission, but I thought it'd be chill. And so I took it down and clicked their like case on me, and it was just a PDF, but it quickly downloaded super quick in a way that I was like, that was a browser, wasn't it? And because it wasn't an attachment. And then I stopped everything I was doing right then, and that was like two weeks ago.
Oof.
But yeah, that's the sitch. So last week we didn't have Rob. It was Haspel and me talking shit for an hour.
I'm sure it was great.
Nonsense.
But now we have a real hobby subject, which is in reference to the new price hikes, and it's about how to ball on a budget. Warhammer 40k on a budget. So Q&A, if you have any questions, I already wrote one down from someone.
Yeah, there was a question that came through earlier.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
I wrote it down as well.
Sweet. So in Q&As, guys, you just say Q&A, all caps, your question, and I'll just copy and paste them as we go. And I'll guide us through our show notes, and then we'll go do the Q&A at the end, as is our way. And let's kick it over to Rob to do some news.
Oh, this is my part. Okay. I'm back. All right. So we've got quite a bit to cover, but then I guess we'll get into the meat and potatoes of it. So just kind of wanted to go over some of the cash stuff real quick that kind of happened. So GW is definitely changing up how they're doing previews. I think we all kind of noticed this because there wasn't one at Nova, and I guess we'll know if that's a trend or not, if there's one at LVO or not. They put out like a kind of like a rumor engine type deal today for Age of Sigmar, where they showed basically a painted miniature that was very easy to kind of tell what it was, one for each of the Grand Alliances, which kind of mirrors some of the rumors out there already for Age of Sigmar releases coming up here soon. So it's kind of interesting to see, it's the ever evolving thing with Games Workshop as far as previews go. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Also, was it Captain Farron Arios, I think is his official name, the new Space Marine captain. It's a Black Library miniature from the, what was it? What's that series of books? I forget, whatever. The ones people were mad about. But anyways, he's coming out. He will be a Black Library miniature. He kind of looks like Finn from Star Wars. Pretty cool miniature. Got a Thunderhammer. Why not? So that was cool to see. And then they kind of scrambled to officially reveal it because I guess their German Instagram kind of put it out a little early. This week's pre-orders, if you haven't seen yet, are quite a few and varied. So we've got the Thousand Suns robots finally hitting shelves for $50, which I was actually surprised. There is literally nothing on Games Workshop's website priced at $50, shockingly enough. And I was like, oh, this will be easy to figure out all the different currency arbitrage prices for. No, it wasn't. There was absolutely nothing at $50, which was kind of crazy to me because that used to be the average price of a unit, which is definitely not the case anymore. So we've got the new Imperial Knights coming out. They are going up. The Knight Questoris box that comes with the Defender kit upgrade sprue, $194, which is the old price of the Dominus class, which is the larger Knight, and they are actually going up to $195. So the old Knights, the smaller ones, are going to $194. The bigger Knights are going to $195, $1 more. I don't understand how any of that makes sense, but here we are. Then the Imperial Fist and Raven Guard are getting their special characters and a couple of combat patrols for them as well. And the Kill Team approved ops cards and data sheets and dice and all the accoutrements that you would expect coming out. So the Codex train keeps on rolling.
Yeah, that the new kill team, that Tomb World thing looks pretty cool.
Yes. It is actually pretty dope. I actually have one right here, believe it or not, because well, GW ships them out to everybody early, so
Wow.
I have some arrangements. It's a nice big chunky box, and the Necrons inside of it are actually the terrain is actually pretty dope, very customizable.
Yeah, the
If you want,
terrain looks really good.
yeah, if you wanted to even convert that up to be the new layouts for 10th edition, you probably could. It would take a little work, but you could definitely do it. And the thing that I noticed that was interesting in our initial evaluation of this box, we didn't take into account that there's actually 2 kill teams for Deathwatch in here. So they're only going to be 5-man kits, but it definitely gives it some more value, which I thought was pretty cool. And little spoiler alert, even though it says made in the UK, I wasn't ever able to actually figure out if they were allowed to say something was made in the UK, even if it had components that were from a different country until now, because the tiles that are in there say made in China on it. So now we know for sure they can slap the made in UK symbol on it with components from other countries, which I'm sure definitely happens a lot. The terrain boards inside are cardboard. The walls, the Necron walls are sprues. But it's pretty dope. It's probably one of the few kits that they've come out with recently, the bundles that is more than worth its money just because of replay value. So we got some Age of Sigmar rumors. Looks like they might be refreshing Ogres, Maggotkin, some Skaven. Forget what else there was. Something else for Grand. Oh, Cities of Sigmar too. Looks like it might be getting a few more models out there. So lots of stuff coming for Sigmar. Christmas Battle Forces are already being rumored as well. There seems to be some confusion about if the Space Marine box will be new assault Terminators and maybe an assault or a Terminator Ancient model, which would be pretty cool. But either way, there's a lot of speculation about Tau, Chaos Space Marines, Tyranids, and you can probably expect that there'll be an Emperor's Children one because there's been a Khorne one, there's been a Nurgle one, there's been a Tzeentch one for the past couple of years. So now that Fulgrim's out, there'll probably be a Fulgrim one as well, if I had to guess. So be on the lookout for more on those. I'm sure GW will be eager to talk about those in the near future. Free Mini of the Month is out for September. That article, I got to be honest with you guys, that article from Games Workshop was very hard to read for me. It was clearly written with AI. It didn't have all the normal details that it would perhaps have, like, hey, this is how you get the coin. The coin isn't free, and it didn't like really say anything about it. And normally there's dates in there and a lot of things that was really lacking, and it was just embarrassing. I think on their part, it was very hard to read. Didn't get a lot of details on it, but what we could tell is that I think it starts on the 8th. So look for that here soon. And the meta is in flux again, as we kind of expected. Eldar won Nova Open, and it looked like the other largest tournament was one in Australia, and Sisters took that one down. So very interesting stuff out there. It looks like it's getting pretty varied, which is kind of what I think everybody was looking forward to. Then quick note about the price increases. I got the spreadsheets. I broke them all down as best I could to get some general like trends and things like that. So it looks like the average kit went up about $2.66, which is about a 4% general price bump overall, which is what Games Workshop said. I personally don't agree with the way they put it out. They didn't put it on their site. They didn't put it on their social medias. They just sent out an email on a Saturday on a holiday weekend, which I feel like they can do better. Like, if you're going to throw it in our faces, at least throw it in our faces, not just like, oh, here's an email and stuff's going up. Like, okay, fine. If you dig into the quarter or the yearly report, we knew a price increase was coming. We just didn't know when. We knew it was going to be about 4%. We just didn't know when. They made a lot of broad, like, hey, this is why we're doing this. Like, we're paying people more in, the UK and stuff, and we're trying to absorb some of the costs from all these tariffs because they still do have to pay tariffs shipping the stuff over from the UK, which I get. And everything's more expensive these days, and they increase prices every year. So like, I can't really be mad about that at this point because we kind of saw it coming. But what's interesting is if you go back and you look at the price increases every year since 2020, and things have gone up between 25 and 30% since then, and the average squad kit is rapidly approaching $70,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is a lot of money. And I think it's going to have a pushback on a lot of things, but that's kind of where we're at. They justified it with those reasons. We knew it was coming.
That's
It
how it
is
is
what
when I
it
go to the
is.
grocery store, Rob.
What's that?
I've never gone into the grocery store
Uh-huh.
in 2025 and spent less than $70, right? Like I
Yeah.
go in for like 3 things.
It's it's real, man. The plight is real out there. So new product releases that you'll definitely want to keep your eyes out for. J15 Games put out their Voton yield point trackers, which I think is really cool, and they make some really good game aids. AMG made a push fit plastic atom miniature that you could technically use in Shatterpoint or MCP. That looks pretty cool for all their paint and takes. It's just a cutesy little mascot miniature that I think was a cool idea. Um, there is, if you're into orc terrain, there's the Scraps Camp Kickstarter that is all STLs that you can download for a pretty good price from Fabricator's Lair. And Wargames Atlantic put out their Survivors and Civilians customizable plastic kits that are pretty universal, but they're kind of near future, so I don't know how well they'd work in 40k land, but it's definitely something to kind of keep an eye out for if they might have a use for you. And all their kits are like super. You get like 20 dudes for like $35, which is, well, as we just talked about half the price of the average Games Workshop kit. How do they do it? And then TT Combat put out their retro terrain. They call it the Chroma series, which is basically like full color UV inked MDF terrain. But what's really dope about this is they tried to go back and recreate a lot of the second and third edition card terrain from the second edition 40k starter, and some of the like iconic kits you could buy. There was like a watchtower and Imperial bunker, and
Yep.
some of the ruins, even some of the stuff that came in a second edition starter, like the little ruins. They kind of duplicated, and it all looks great. I mean, it isn't one for one, so they can
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty affordable, and if you've got that second edition or third edition nostalgia kind of itch, this might be the thing for you, because some of that stuff's pretty hard to find, or it's in various states of disrepair. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then over on the Spiky Bits made to order 3D web store, we actually relisted the Chaos Obliterator Hulks, which are great alternatives to normal obliterators, and there's kind of some Legion comparisons over there from Carnage King. Some of the STLs may have been misplaced, so we're slowly getting those relisted back up. So we'll hopefully have the majority of his line up here before the holiday. So check those out if you're needing some Chaos Legion third party alternatives.
Oh yeah. So had a meeting today with Arthur and Ronan, Bourbon and Bolters.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sold half
I've
our
heard of it.
tickets. So there's 12 tickets remaining.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur extended the early bird buy-in.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that because I think it was over on the first.
Yep. He extended it, I could think, for another week. So budget's looking good. We had another hour-long spreadsheet meeting with vendors and costs and everything. It's good to have a actual CFO, CPA, like spreadsheet master, and a business attorney as my partners here. But They're keeping us on task. It's looking good. Early bird special extended. Act now, because I mean, this is only 24 tickets are available total. Extremely, extremely small amount of players when you consider like GT experience. But
Oh yeah, and I know a lot of the behind the scenes about what's going into all the
bro, yeah,
stuff for people, and
there's
it's
some wild shit like that.
it's pretty wild.
Shout out to Rob for using his contacts to unlock some wild avenues for us. But we're trying to make it, like obviously dope and fun, like the most prolific bro hang sesh of all time. But
Mhm.
simultaneously, like there's a comedy element to it as well. Would you agree with that, Mike? Like the comedy of like this sophistication that we're trying to bring, like it's got to be
Yes,
over the
yeah.
top,
It is over the top. It is pretty cool.
like ludicrous, like straight up.
Lots of like rich mahogany and wheels of cheese,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
you guys should see these. I can't remember what they're called. It's like a grazing bar. Like we got this like charcuterie company catering like breakfast, and it's like
Mhm.
this most ludicrous spread laid out in like a bar of like charcuterie and bagels and like just for like the most like not like I mean like grapes like laid over all over the top. I mean it's just I mean everything is just preposterous. Like I love it.
I'll fuck up some charcuterie, bro.
Oh yeah, who doesn't? Like it's as sophisticated as possible, right? Good
Mhm.
balanced meals, some complex carbs, some fruit options, lots of meat options. Dinner switching, then dinner switches it up every day. Uh, like different catering companies, bartending, liquor budgets. I mean, Goobertown Hobbies in chat right now. He'll be there. I mean, I'm excited. And like I said, I just came back from Puerto Rico. Just got engaged. Anybody just tuning into that. So I just did a really cool trip. And now I can't wait for this next really cool trip. And then I'm going to LVO next month
Mm.
for the double
Yeah.
turn year. And we got the Longboard doubles. We've already got 50 teams. And
Nice.
they're getting dice automatically instead of mats. And we're gonna have mats for you guys to buy. So it's just the coolest
Switching it up.
shit, man. Like I'm so stoked, bro. Anything before we hit a commercial, then dive into our topic?
Mm-mm.
And we're back. This comes up every now and then. Warhammer 40k balling on a budget. So price hikes en route. I've got some Q&As. Anybody who's still watching, there are some comments, criticisms, Q&As on the topic. How do you ball on a budget, right? And of course, Rob has evergreen articles on this subject on Spiky Bits. But let me just go to our show notes and present these to you guys. Starting out, Mike, what advice do you have for building an army on a budget?
First, commit to like what you like, because like what attracts you, because you're going to spend a lot of time with them. And then the other thing I would do, especially nowadays, is build your army. We used to just build them with bases, initially, right, and play out a couple of games with just proxies before you spend a dime. And now I guess you could do it, online, digitally. But definitely either borrow somebody's armies, use proxies or whatever, figure out what your army is going to be, and then build that. Just get that, and maybe like one unit to swap out or something, but don't go. And I would hesitate now. I would even hesitate to buy a 2,000 point force. Like I don't know this for a fact because I haven't been playing a whole ton, but I foresee the game's going to shrink. Just because the cost of everything is more, right? So it's like, if you remember back in the day of the RTTs and everything, it was 1,500 points was the standard.
Yeah. But
And it
GW
was-
constantly fights us, right? They
Yeah.
fight us on that because they don't want to like. So 2,000 points goes further right now than it used to even.
Right.
Right, like
Yeah.
they're
It
constantly
does.
so they're constantly fighting us on that. But I agree. I think that at some point we just need to be adults about this and just make the games a little smaller.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I'm doing with my Blood Ravens right now. Is like I'm not actually buying anything because I have a ton of crap.
Oh, and that's why Rob, our title was Relic Hunters. Haspel's back.
Yeah.
Oh, because of Nightbringer.
Dawn of War.
Because of Dawn of War. I
So-
do love the new Nightbringer though.
He's
Like,
in.
I will be.
Bro, it's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
but Haspel's back on his old project that he never finished,
Yeah.
and he's trying to get it done for Bourbon and Bolters.
Yes.
Ooh,
So it's gonna be. I'm already behind. It's like
immediately behind.
They might people might be like, hey, how come you don't have any vehicles? I'll be like, because I didn't get to them.
But I mean,
like,
so what I like to do is I like to just like commit to something small. Like for example, for Adepticon, one of the ways I got GoatBoy76, one of my students and viewers, to actually put his first army together for like in 18 years. You know what I mean? I was like, we'll play together, 1,500. He's like, shit, I could do that. And I was like, yeah, you can. Sit down, scheme it up, lock it in on your army building app, make it. So like I like Haspel's point, Rob, because he's also saying like, you know, you don't want to have buyer's remorse that your army sucks also, right? Like, so I don't even I don't even care about that anymore. I just want it to be I just want to like win a game or two these days. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. And so rule of cool, always, as Haspel mentioned, you're going to live with these people. Make sure it's your hype shit. And I actually deliberately, when I start, I try to start with something that gets me to the point requirement with the least amount of models possible. So it's usually skew. I usually develop a skew list out the gate and just let it ride and come up with something like 1,500 points. That's what I'm doing. And Mike, you could do that for Bourbon and Bolters. You can be like, I'm doing 1,500. I'll bring 1,500. We can play. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. I'm gonna try to bring 2,000, but it might be like because I have a couple big tanks and stuff like that, so it might be something like that. That like my 2,000 is just a giant tank, like that brings it from 1,500 to 2,000. You know, so we'll see. But yeah, it would have been ready to go if they didn't Legends half of it.
Yeah, goddamn. So, Rob, are there any tips for finding deals or secondhand models that you, as the industry leading expert on the subject, could provide?
Well, I think the easiest, most fastest way to score stuff is probably Facebook marketplaces in your area. You know, depending. I know here because Fort Bragg, there's like a ton of folks that are just like, hey, I got to sell this right now, you know, because they're getting deployed or like moving duty stations or something like that. And I've, you know, seen people with like whole painted armies, like, I only paid $300 for this because, dude, I needed it to go right now. And like, crazy. So that's the biggest thing. And it seems like the most accessible, but obviously, you know, you need to be careful, you know, don't meet people, you know, where you don't think
Facebook
it might be
Marketplace follow normal rules of engagement.
Yep.
Even my aunt, who is a 28-year Hialeah motorcycle cop veteran, made me go with her to a Facebook Marketplace pickup. She's like,
that's
we don't solo this. She's like, you'll never know.
It's true.
Of course, when we got there, it was a nice little old lady selling just a window pane. Is all we were picking up, like a window pane.
And I think a lot of areas like the police stations will have a designated like swap spot that's like under surveillance.
Oh, that's tight. That's good advice.
I know the sheriff's office here does, and the police station. So
yeah, the police station here is like a community room that they let people meet at.
Yeah, so keep that in mind. So that's the easiest, like most quickest. There's other like Reddit has a what is it? What is it called? Where is it? I'm pulling the mini swap on Reddit. Supposedly there's going to be a mini swap platform like page that the same dudes over there are doing. They haven't messaged me back to say it rolled out yet. Then you can always check local game stores, and some game stores, will have a whole case. Uh, I used to sell a lot more used minis than actual new minis back in the day, and it's
Mm-hmm.
Frontline Gaming has a shit ton. There's a lot of other stores, like local stores. Whenever you're in a new area, just drop by a store and just see what they got. You just never know. They might have a whole case full of used stuff. Somebody doesn't play your faction, so it's all just kind of sitting there. It's like super cheap. I know a local game store here has a case full of used minis, and there's been AdMech stuff sitting in there for like a month or two. Great, great price, but I guess nobody plays it. So you just never like super realize what it's going to be. So the more areas you go to and stop by, the more deals you might find. So that's always good.
Locally here, Gamers Haven has a store auction twice a year.
Oh yeah, that too. Yep.
And I unload hordes of stuff, hordes, like to the point that like people think I'm getting out of the hobby every time, and I'm
Mhm.
like,
This
no, I'm
backlog,
getting
son.
rid of this stuff to buy new stuff. You know what I mean? But you
Yep.
can get ridiculous deals because I'm just trying to get it out of my basement. So I
Mhm.
will price stuff like 10 Space Marines, $5. You know what I mean? Like gone. Sometimes
Yeah.
a buck.
Yeah, I think you just have to realize that it's like, and if you do those like swap meets and things at local game stores, you have to treat it like a garage sale. Like you can't get a premium for your stuff.
No, you
It's
won't.
that's not the venue for it. Like if you're trying to like get a premium for some listed on eBay, although eBay has great deals too, of course.
Yeah.
You just have to like kind of refine your searches and things. Um, but yeah, I mean, I named a couple of game stores, like Frontline. Merlin's Minis overseas in the UK has a lot of good stuff, but maybe now it's not the best time if you live in the States to be buying stuff from the UK. But if you live overseas, there might be a great time, because we don't have the crazy tariffs over there. The There's a couple places in Canada. We have a whole like how to buy used Warhammer miniatures article over on Spiky Bits you can check out. But if you're looking for like ideas and inspiration, obviously eBay Miniature Rescues, great channel. Check that out.
He's also coming to Bourbon and Bolters.
That's true. So a lot of cool ideas and stuff over there. Also splitting the bundle boxes, splitting combat patrols with people is always a good option too.
Yep.
Let me move it to the next topic. It's funny because a lot of people in chat are agreeing and have said some of the things we just said. So this is like these things are known, right? Like, and so
Mm-hmm.
it kind of seems like just to bookend it, you just got to get involved in the scene, right? So it's almost like get to the Gamers Haven near you,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll get all this information relatively easily. So your best access point, go to the game store, and everyone there already knows all the tech.
Yeah. Don't sleep on like older gamers too, veteran gamers,
Mhm.
because like somebody like me, I used to have like 18 armies. Like I'm not exaggerating. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't anymore. And it's like I didn't sell all of them on eBay. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, you're just getting into the game. You want to play Imperial Guard? I got a guard army. I don't play. I haven't played in 3 years. You, I'll give you a
Yep.
good deal on it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I want people to play the game.
You want friends to play
So,
the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Mike, is it better to focus on one army or experiment with different factions early on?
If you're going to experiment with different factions, use proxies.
Yep.
It is better to focus on one
Yeah.
army. 100%. And it's like, especially now, right? Especially now, because there's so many little nuances and things that people need with the stratagems and all that stuff. It's like you need to know your army cold, or you're not going to have a good time. It's
Rob,
like,
how would you prioritize beginners on what they should start spending? Like what should they spend their money on right out the gate?
Well, I mean, I think one of the best ways to really see if you're going to stick in it is to get some sort of bundle, like a combat patrol or some such. So that way, you know, it's a decent amount of minis. You can kind of see if you're going to stick with it. I think a lot of folks don't necessarily buy good tools right off the bat, and maybe that's something that you don't need.
Ooh,
You could
good
get
point.
like a starter tool set, like one of those combo ones. You know, don't spend $25 on a pair of clippers.
I didn't
Just
even
buy the
think of that.
combo one.
I didn't even think of
Yeah,
that. Fuck.
Yeah.
Because we have so
that's
many tools. I forgot about that.
yeah,
Yeah, because they used to have that little like starter paint box, and it came with like all the primary colors and a couple of things and a wash, and then it came with like 2 brushes and a set of clippers or something.
Yeah, it was
And
like
it's
Mhm.
like, and
the
that
hobo
whole
shit,
thing was like $35 or whatever.
and it
it's
was
like,
even in different pots and shit.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was like budget as hell. Yeah, you need it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Just
Usually
get,
it's a good deal.
and it's like once you know you're in a hobby. I mean, I don't know how my clippers I paid a lot for because it was those metal clippers from GW.
Oh, on the same
Um,
subject, because someone
Yep.
just said Army Painter has a good starting toolkit,
mhm.
Mike. So on the same subject, I would say important to say to somebody who's just breaking in, while you're spending a lot of money on the GW models, as soon as possible that you can break out of the Citadel ecosystem for your
Oh
tools
yeah,
and your paints, the more money you
Yeah.
will save.
oh yeah,
On that
100%.
subject, on that,
Yeah,
because you were just mentioning the preposterous tools that we bought. Scrape
yeah,
about
yeah.
it
But
works.
I mean that clipper I've had for 20 years or
Which
close to
one?
it. It was like a metal GW like elite clipper thing.
The one with the
Like
brown handles?
yeah, it's like all metal
Yeah, it
with
was hard.
brown
It does. It's
handles.
not rubber like dipped. It's straight up metal with little like screws in it, brown.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a great set of clippers, but I would not if you were brand new, I wouldn't advise you to get those.
Mm-mm.
Have you seen these yet from Wargame Atlantic?
No.
They're sweet because they got these little guys.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
So you
like,
just you
as like
basically
a
put
anybody who's listening. He's showing us a pair of clippers where the tip is downturned, almost like a tweezer, and comes to an extreme sharp angle and point.
yeah,
Nice.
so you put it flush against the part and then it
And then
guides so
mhm,
you get the whole burr in the
nice.
That's tight.
clip. Yeah, these things are
But breaking out of the GW ecosystem for tools and paints,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
that cannot be understated, bro. Like or overstated. That's like
Mm-hmm.
clutch.
However, I will add a caveat to that. And it used to be that it was like Citadel and maybe one other model paint thing, and then that was it, right? And that's no
Mm-hmm.
longer the case. And I saw folks like would buy a lot of paints at like Walmart or whatever and use those. And it's like, well, I would not advise you to do that, right? Go with another miniature paint. Like, you know
Yes.
what I mean? Because the
Mm-hmm.
paints are formulated
Add.
for
Don't
miniatures.
think you're being clever because you went and bought like artist paints. Unless you actually are a prolific artist, like you're gonna.
Right.
That's gonna make it. That's gonna get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Like the
It's not going to
cream.
work
We're
out
looking for a
long
different
term.
creaminess and consistency. Um,
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
obviously breaking out of the ecosystem. Let's check a different subject in these show notes and ask a few more. Um, collecting smart. Uh, Mike, what's the best long term investment in a collection? Model, books, hobby tools. What is it?
The best long term?
Mhm.
Well, it used to be models, I would say,
Yeah, that's
because
true.
everything else changes, but they are legending stuff at such a rate, and I'm salty about that because I mean, a lot of my armies I've had, I mean, my Grey Knights, there are models in there that are probably older than most people listening to the show.
Yeah, they
Um,
used to be straight up
Mm-hmm.
forever.
so I would say models were and they probably still are the most value, the most bang for your buck is probably still the models, right? It's like because you are assembling them. I mean, like entertainment per time, right? Entertainment dollar
And
per
over
time,
time, because even though they're not permanent anymore like they used to be,
right?
they're more permanent than books and paints, you know?
Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
codices and stuff like that. And I'm somebody who's really into the fluff, but if you're patient, you can still get the books later, like
Yep.
when a lot cheaper. So although that doesn't go for the Black Library stuff because apparently they've been allowing a lot of stuff to go out of print. And I saw some books on eBay the other day that were commanding outrageous prices. Um, I mean, outrageous. like $400 or $500, and these are not like
Just basic hardcovers.
yeah, they were not the collector's leather bound
Mhm.
editions or anything. These were like basic hardcover books, and and they're not autographed or nothing. And I was just like,
they're it. It's a commodity now.
that's it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't get them anymore. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
wow, that is crazy.
Till they do a reprint, but who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
I got a good one for Rob.
I'm
Rob,
here.
do combat patrols, spearheads, and battle forces really save money, or do they encourage overspending?
I think they save money because the way that they're maybe in the past they could do a little overspending, but nowadays they're not really something. I mean, ask Haspel how he feels about the Grey Knights combat patrol. They're not something that veterans would go out and buy.
Right.
But then you got the Marine ones that are coming out that aren't bad, and then the White Scars one has the new miniature, the new jet bike miniature in it. So it's like, oh, so maybe that's one that might interest.
So if you want the jet bike,
veterans.
it's encouraging overspending.
Yeah, I mean, any of the paywall stuff is
But
encouraging.
we're taking this
overspending.
from the perspective somebody jumping in the hobby.
Jumping into the hobby.
So
So,
jump.
Yeah,
So
they're
it's-
all totally worth it.
Yeah.
Well, I say that there is two caveats. The Tyranid one, well, the old Tyranid one, there's a new Tyranid one now,
mhm.
and the Space Marine one, that's the other half, sort of half of Leviathan. Those are terrible. Don't buy those unless you're starting out. Then they're great for you.
Rob,
But
what's your famous saying on the subject?
you gotta spend money to save money.
That's right, baby.
Yeah, and it's like with the Space Marine combat patrols, like a lot of folks that are new don't realize that like an Ultramarines box is the same as a like Blood Angels box is the same as like a Space Wolves box, that they're just painted different. And they
Mhm.
do have different bits in there, right? That make them look like Space Wolves or Blood Angels or whatever. But there's nothing stopping you from from getting an Ultramarines combat patrol and then like a Blood Angels combat patrol, and now you have
Yeah.
like you have a
Yep.
good size army.
They
Okay.
do pair well. And even some of the battle forces you can still find out there that might be worth a pickup. So keep an eye out. And then if you need to look up any of the pricing, savings, breakdowns, like we generally have them all on the site too.
This is a good one, guys. Feel this to the team. This is on the subject of managing the pile.
Ooh.
How do you
God.
prevent overspending and ending up with a pile of shame, Mike?
I am the wrong person to ask for that.
Rob?
I think there's only one way, and that's just literally paint what you have before you buy more.
I have an answer to this, and I teach people on this.
Okay.
And this is a big part of my course, right? Like I teach 5 days a week. It's like mostly in my job. And I obviously everyone's like, oh, Kenny's a painter. It's like, really, my brain is like more than just painting. It's like project management, efficiency, and fun. I have a rule. It's a hard rule, bro. Can never have more than 2 armies.
I think that's probably
So when you're
responsible.
starting, when you're getting the bug, that like oh fuck, I need to do that. I need to do this new shit. You know what I mean? When you're getting the bug, and now you know when it happens, and your current thing that you've been playing with, you're bored of, and you kind of don't even want to think about it anymore. And it kind of makes you sick to even look at. When you're getting into that headspace, and you want to start collecting the 3rd army, you must sell one of your 2, and that will fund the 3rd. So I never buy, and this is important, I never buy a model that's not for an active collection. That's my biggest rule.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fall for the FOMO. I don't get caught up in it. If it's not for the active collection, it doesn't get bought. And that has kept me on the straight path. Clean, precise, Spartan, 40K max fun, max investment path for the last 15 years professionally.
I will say that my spending on stuff has gone dramatically down once I stopped playing tournaments. So it was just like I wasn't meta chasing either then, but what I tended to do is I don't paint miniatures, I paint projects because my time is limited. So if there's like a holiday weekend that comes up, I'm like, I'm not doing anything, but I'm painting this army. And I could generally back in the day
When we were like, this is all we did. I remember we were cranking.
Back in the day, I could paint an army in 3 days, and it would be good to a good tabletop standard.
You used to win, and that's part of the subject. Mike the year, like your greatest year in Colorado when you won Kangaskhan and Tacticon in the same year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we had weighted hobby scores too.
Yeah.
Right. So we had battle points and weighted hobby scores to go to the good old days. Right.
Mm-hmm.
He crushed it because he not only did well on the tabletop, but these armies he painted in like a short amount of time. He was using like dipping strategies, airbrushing strategies, priming strategies. He's using and weathering strategies and basing strategies. It was all just tech, bro. And it was tech that people, just didn't know about. But now you have no excuse for not knowing about that tech. So even as a beginner,
Oh, it's all out there.
to further the whole idea of not getting caught up in a pile of shame, make sure you follow some resources online, because these Mike Haspel's secret technique, it's not a secret anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His technique that blew Colorado to pieces for that season. The secret's out, baby. So my biggest,
when I was like printing banners and stuff on,
Yeah.
on fabric paper.
You-
People didn't know about that
they
stuff.
didn't know about shit, dude. You the first guy seen with a can of dip, dude. I didn't even know what that fucking shit was.
Oh yeah, yeah. Back the Minwax stuff. Yeah.
Like it was
yeah.
is the wild. And so like my biggest advice on that is, if you go onto YouTube and you find people teaching tutorials, I'm
Mhm.
not even advocating like mine. What I'm saying is stick to one. You'll have more success sticking to one person's painting philosophy, even if it's
Yeah.
objectively inferior to this other person's, than you will be trying to piece it together from 3 different people.
Mhm.
Just stick to one ecosystem of thinking and implement. Like, because the second you're scattered all over the place, bro, you're project paralysis.
Yeah. And in the chat, Greyhawk Ravens goes, you're gonna hate this, but noobs should not buy an airbrush just yet. Paint it all first. I would actually agree with that. I would agree with that, because I think airbrushing is a whole other thing, right?
It kind of is, yeah.
So it's like, because I've seen people get disheartened because they got the airbrush, they got all the stuff, which is more money, right? It's a whole other investment.
Mhm.
And then it takes training to use the airbrush. So they're trying to use it and they're getting frustrated because it's not going the way they see it go on the internet.
That's
You know what I mean?
It takes a lot of practice, a lot
I
of
like
hard
how
work.
he said, oh, next level painting, you're gonna hate me for saying this.
Ha.
And look, I don't disagree with any of these well-crafted opinions at all. It's all from perspective. I am a guy who shows you how to do all those things. So if you want to have max success, even as a beginner, I go the opposite. I'm like, every day you're not airbrushing is a day you can't get back. And but if you learn to airbrush without the brush skills, you get stuck in a really weird place that I've seen so many airbrush artists get stuck in, where they airbrush everything so dope, and then when they go to hand paint, they're like, damn, I suck at this. So then they start justifying and convincing themselves that it's good enough when it's not. So you don't ever want to be stuck in that space, and that's easy because you can buy an airbrush, you can watch a video, and you can get reasonable results quickly, and then get stuck in that purgatory where you
Mhm.
just like you just justify shitty paint jobs that lean on the airbrush. And so don't jump into airbrushing if you're not committed to the whole process. And that's where you might need to take some lessons. But
Yeah,
learning
and-
brush skills is massively necessary.
That is important too, that a lot of the hobby spaces and game stores now do teach classes. So it's like, but it's, I self-taught myself how to use an airbrush, and
Yeah.
I still remember I used it to make replica props. So the stuff I was airbrushing was big. It was like veins on a face hugger, stuff like that, right? To get these like really subtle, making skin look translucent, stuff like that.
You're using
Mhm.
large scale tech.
Large
Like,
scale. And then I
Mhm.
still remember like looking at a rhino and going,
I could do
hey,
that.
why can't I just use this on that? And it was like it never had
Yeah.
even occurred to me.
Before we go into Q&A, funny side note, coffee table fact of the Long War podcast. Haspel airbrush before Kenny did.
Yep.
Like when I picked up airbrushing, Haspel had already been doing it, and he was one of the first guys with my own eyes I'd seen with airbrush vehicles.
Mm.
Oh, how much is a full airbrush kit with paints and necessary supplies?
Well,
You
I
can
mean,
get
what?
good deals, but you're
I'll
going to
I'll put
spend.
that in the Q&A. Hold on. We're gonna go to we're gonna go into Q&A right now.
Okay.
Booth.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Okay, so we got a pretty robust Q&A. So let's just start with that one since you just read it, Mike,
Mhm.
from Booth Phallus. How much is a full airbrush kit with paints, necessary supplies? You can get a decent compressor for between $35 and $85 online
Mhm.
if you shop around, and you can get. And my recommendation is no airbrush should cost too much less than $100. And it should be a needle size no smaller than 0.3 and no bigger than 3.5. Don't get caught up in some hype game on some crazy ass shit that's like a 0.02. You don't need it.
Yeah, that's tough.
I've been doing my job with a 0.3, 0.33 this whole time. So you should budget roughly 100 for the airbrush. It could be any brand. I'm not even going to tell you brands. 0.3, 0.35 range. So you're into it for like 200 right there on the high end of my Ballin budget. And but paints is a hard question to ask, right? So it really comes down to what paint manufacturer that you patron, right? Like that's it.
I think all of us use a different.
Yeah, and I would say gravity feed to the other question that's there.
Yeah.
They're like gravity feed or siphon. Siphon's really good if
That's
you're
for big
painting.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cars or T-shirts or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Gravity
you don't want
feed
that.
is what you want.
Good question, Greyhawk. Yeah, so you want gravity fed, double action. Even though almost no one uses double action the way it's meant to be used because it's almost impossible, you still want double action. They still do make single action airbrushes. You don't want that, even though.
And don't fall for like the hype compressors that are like, oh, this is like a handheld battery powered one that, you know what I mean, that'll do or whatever. Just get like an airbrush compressor.
They're all basically the same patent in the United States, so they just have different skins. There's a few exceptions to that rule, but $85 will get you set up. And if you do have a compressor, last note before I move to the next Q&A, and it's got a tank, big radiator fan, and it gets really hot, and you see it kind of like spitting a lot of moisture and condensation, just get a floor fan on it. That's it.
Yeah, or a little portable desk fan.
Little fan aimed at it, solve all your problems. And so it's not about how humid your environment is. It's literally just about how hot it's getting, and it's an air cooled device. So, moving on into the Q&A, that was a good one. Thank you, Boost. Let's move to Meticulous Chaos from earlier. He said, "Guys, do you think we are dangerously close to pricing average people out of the hobby? If not, where do you think the line is? And will GW care if they cross it?" Follow-up question, because he was on a jog apparently. I think my first question I wrote down seemed kind of maybe I was like bitter, but I'm not. He just wanted to put that out there. So
I think they've already priced normal people out of the hobby. That's I don't know. That's my opinion because I balk at the prices now when I walk in and I go, oh man, this is sick. Wait, that's $195? Well, I'm not getting that. You know what I mean? And I wander over to BattleTech. It's so I think it would be a hard sell for a dad going in with his kid who wants, oh, that dreadnought's cool, and it's $70. That's rough. And I think we're already there. I don't think GW will care. And that's why I think the game's going to shrink. And I don't mean like the game space, like the hobby space. I think that's only going to get bigger, right? As more and more people, as Dawn of War 4 hits, right? And more and more people, you got the new Space Marine 2. They announced their rollout plan for the next year.
Oh yeah, the roadmap.
Yeah, they've got all the expansions coming. So I think 40K as a game is only going to get bigger. Warhammer is only getting bigger, but I think the actual games are going to get smaller. Because people are just not going to have stuff. Now, it could be that GW is going to push everybody like, oh no, 2,000 points, 2,500 points. That's where it's at. You want to be playing that. One thing is I don't have time for that anymore. Like I play 1,000 point games. That's it.
They're not
very small games.
GW isn't competing for people's money anymore. They're competing for people's time across wherever, whether it's Joy Toy, whether it's a video game, whether it's the miniatures and things, and they're gonna get their snaps regardless. Like,
Yeah.
people are still buying it, y'all. Like for
Yeah.
every person that gets out of the hobby, like another two come in. I mean, that's the only way it could still be at the point it is right now with all this growth and the sustainability and all the huge missteps GW's doing across all departments. Like if any other company acted and did the things they do, company wouldn't be around.
Yeah. So to
Like-
answer the question, the line has been crossed, and no, they don't care.
Yeah.
Basically.
They're not being held accountable, and as a matter of fact, their books show the opposite. They've been validated, and so until something changes, nothing will change there. Kara Quinn made a great comment, which I think is worthy of note. I'm going back to fantasy. The old world is cheap and GW, and I'm burned out on 40k. So I think that's a fun.
Fair.
On the subject of balling on a budget is also just game system, right? So I think that's worthy of comment. Thank you, Kara Quinn. Zenwu says, "What is a better dopamine hit?" I think we can all agree on this. Well, maybe not. We'll see. What's a better dopamine hit? Buying and collecting, or finishing and painting an army? Mike, what's a better dopamine hit?
Finishing and painting an army.
Me too. I agree. For me,
Yeah, I would much rather finish something.
I still have models that I pull out, like my Corvus Black Stars, and I just pull them out and look at them.
but
and I'm like, man,
but
these
we
are
both,
sick.
but we all can agree that one of those dopamine hits is easier, and
Yes.
that's where your pile of shame gets into play, right? Like that's
Yes.
one of them is instant gratification dopamine, and one of them is you got to work for it dopamine. And so
One of the things that changed kind of my outlook is, when am I going to get to this? So like, say I was at the store right now. I know I like the Nightbringer. The Nightbringer's super tight. I want to get the Nightbringer. When am I going to get to him?
facts,
Right? With all the projects I'm working, months.
Mhm.
So I don't need them right now.
No, that's how I feel. Yeah, that's wise words, brother.
True that.
Boost Phallus over here. Rob, he says, with the advent of 3D resin 3D printers making proxies exponentially cheaper, maybe this is
Sure.
GW's last hurrah because they don't need because they know their industry is expanding.
Oh yeah, I mean I've been saying that for years
On their,
now.
on their
They're-
price hike subject, right? Like maybe they just know that like they just got to squeeze it out of us while they can.
I don't know if that's the case. I think, I think there's certain costs that go along with the stuff, and they're just constantly cognizant of that and aren't afraid to raise the prices. They are going towards a more like inclusive lifestyle type business where, it's more of a focus on licensing and revenue through that, although it's going to take a while to manifest. But I think we already kind of start to see it between the Warhammer Plus subscriptions, to Joy Toy Minis, to Space Marine 2, although there's going to be a bit of a gap there. And then whatever happens with this Amazon series and things. So I think that is true, but there's always going to be base costs to make miniatures, and that's just where we're at in the world. There's base costs for things. You can't do nothing about it. I'm actually not upset that they raised prices this year, because everybody's raising prices, and it isn't much more than anything else. Like Kenny was saying, going to the store and stuff.
Yeah, this is one of the rare times I'm like, okay, I get it. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. It's just unfortunate.
So we mentioned this earlier. I think Mike did. Greyhawk Ravens. He stated, it's another great statement. Number one tip I have: don't meta chase.
Yes. Don't matter.
You'll go broke real quick.
Yeah. There's one other thought I just had, and I just kind of want to voice it before it leaves my head. Do support your local game store. So we're all advocating,
Yeah.
like, you might not buy stuff, you're buying stuff on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or whatever. Your local game store is where you're going to be playing, probably, most likely, right?
Yep.
So it's just like, buy other stuff there. You could buy tweezers off Amazon or whatever, right? But it's like, don't. go to the game store to buy
If
the
they have
other
a
stuff.
Monument Hobbies paint rack, buy it from the store. Monument already
Yeah.
got
Mhm.
theirs, right? You don't need to go straight to
Exactly.
their website. Like,
Exactly.
for example, Christopher Sanchez is our last one on the subject, Q&A. And we kind of talked about this, and it's like perfectly timed with Haspel's statement. What are some places you recommend to buy secondhand models? Which we talked about earlier in the show, but
Mhm.
Haspel kind of closed that pretty well. It's like eBay, Facebook Marketplace. We talked about earlier in the show, good at purchasing habits for staying safe, but ultimately make some rule for yourself where there's something that you always buy from your local game store.
Yeah, I have a rule, and this is like a
Important.
personal rule for me, is every time I go to Gamers Haven, I buy something. And it might just be a pot of paint.
I mean, a pot of paint's good, but
Yeah.
overall, it's a drop in the bucket. So make sure
Right.
you're doing a bit more.
No,
You
I'm
know.
just saying that like that's my rule. Is like I might just go by to hang out or talk to,
Yeah, I'm
talk
talking.
to
I just
folks
wanted
or
to
whatever.
talk shit.
I'll
buy
pick
something.
something. I will buy
I'll pay
something.
them $5 to talk shit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, but if I'm gonna go play a game, I'm definitely doing more. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if I'm going to a tournament, whatever,
That's
whatever
how
I
I
can do.
wound up with like 80 mechs, by the way, is because they have those little individually packaged mechs.
Because you kept
Yep.
buying them.
I'll just buy one. Here we go.
Last one from the chat, Boost again. He's asked a lot of great questions tonight. Looks like he is actually somebody who's in the audience who is breaking in. He asked a lot of
nice.
questions about airbrushing, how much it costs, how long they last, things like that. He said, "What is meta chase?" So, meta chase, if you're playing the game competitively, Boost, meaning you're keeping up with the scores, the win records. Earlier in the show, we did comment on how there's a big Sisters win and a big Eldar win off the heels of a
Mhm.
recent update and patch, meaning the meta has shifted and what is strong has shifted. So if you're constantly checking the data, checking what's strong, checking what combos are good, you're following tactic channels, you're in different gaming clubs. If you're obsessed with only playing what's the hot tech so you can win your games, you will probably win more games, but be broke.
Right.
And not have as many friends.
Well,
to
you
play
actually
games
kind of
with.
need to have a lot of friends to make that work these days. Because
Yeah.
realistically, only Borrow Hammer works for this.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think it ever not worked for this, to be honest with you.
Well,
but,
you need to be in a big game club or have a crew where you can
Right.
swap models. But then
Mhm.
what's going to happen is you have shitty looking stuff all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's not very themey, but yeah.
So
Um,
don't do it.
yeah.
So that's why we mentioned it earlier. Don't do it. Pick what's tight, what resonates with you. Make it
I
happen.
mean, I think looking at the list and trying to figure out how exactly they work. Now, you can't take a Sisters list or an Eldar list played by Folger Piles and have that same level of success with it. But maybe there's a couple combos in there. You're like, I wonder what he does with these, Dark Reapers, and just kind of take a look at the combos and the detachments and get some ideas for something to take to your game, but not, the over the topness, So be cognizant of what's good, but do it your own way, I suppose.
Yeah, well, yeah. So if you say, "Oh, I really love this shit. This is tight. Let me go check how good they are." Whoa, it's the worst one. Maybe go with your second choice.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like, so that's it for our show tonight. We got through a great set of Q&As. Anybody in chat who contributed, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Mhm.
We're back. Mike Hass, we got an epic quote for us?
I see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he is expecting to wake up. Ironically, that's not far from the truth.
Rob.
I think that was the Matrix.
That is the Matrix. Yes.
We did it. Oh boy, what an exciting time. All right, so that's it for this one, y'all. Thanks for watching. Make sure to head on over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.